Hi, welcome to Happier Ladies. We're sisters who discuss all things related to work, family, and personal growth.
We draw inspiration from everywhere, especially from you, our listeners, to keep moving forward with joy and laughter and the big adventure that is life.
1 week at a time.
I'm Azizi Williams. I live and work in the LA area. I'm a mom of 2, soon to be an empty nester, and I'm an education professional in the independent school world. I'm here with my sister, Malika Amandi.
That's me. I'm a SoCal native living in Western Massachusetts, a newish mom, and I work in higher ed.
In this episode, we celebrate our 100th episode. Yay!
Happy 100th.
Happy 100th, Malika.
So today we thought it would be fun to revisit our very first episode and share our thoughts and commentary in each segment. Neither of us have listened to this since it aired in September of 2023. So Azizi, how are you feeling?
I am a little unsure. You know, I do not like to listen to myself on air, on podcasts. Malika, thankfully, I'm so grateful for her. She takes care of all of the editing behind the scenes stuff. So she listens faithfully to each episode, and I do not, because I have already heard it. I was there. We learned so much along the way, you know, and we tried different things out. So I am anxious to see where we started. What about you, Malika?
Yeah, I feel really proud that we've made it to this number. It's very exciting. And I am curious because we've gotten listener feedback that said, like, you found your groove, you know, like,
Right.
So this episode is not the groove. We know that much, but I think it will be fun to listen back.
We were so bold. Like, who do we think we are? We just had no experience or technical expertise and just jumped in. So yes, I'm proud of us also. And this is exciting. It's like the DVD extras behind the scenes commentary that we're going to be giving you.
Exactly.
Let's take a break. And when we get back, we'll dig into our very first episode. And then Malika and I today will chime in with our commentary throughout the episode.
Azizi, how's your dinner game these days?
Well, Malika, I used to struggle with what to cook for dinner.
You're cooking now?
Okay. Actually, my husband used to struggle with what to make for dinner. I mean, meal planning, grocery lists, yuck. But then we found Prep Dish. It's a weekly meal planning service that tells you exactly what to cook. And now they've partnered with Instacart, so your grocery list becomes a ready-to-go online cart.
Oh, what's in your cart, Azizi?
All of the Prep Dish ingredients, plus I can add energy drinks, chili crisp, lipstick, whatever, and check out in just a few clicks. Shopping online is so fun. The meals are family-friendly, healthy, and super easy to prep. Dinner is easy to make, and now we look forward to new tasty meals.
Prep Dish is offering our listeners 2 weeks free. Just head to prepdish.com/happierladies to sign up. Again, that's prepdish.com/happierladies.
This episode is brought to you by LinkedIn. Healthcare professionals can lead their careers with LinkedIn. Discover jobs by specialty, preferred shifts, and even desired salary. From mental health therapists to radiology technicians, it's now faster and easier for healthcare professionals to find the right fit. Learn more at linkedin.com/healthcare. Side effects may include faster job placement, improved work-life balance, and increased career satisfaction.
Oh, it didn't count.
I know, I thought it would. No countdown.
Okay.
Let's turn it again.
All right. You're going to count us down.
Okay. 3,
Okay.
2, 1, go.
Hi, welcome to Happier Ladies, a podcast where we discuss all things related to the Happier and Happier in Hollywood podcast.
We're sisters and super fans who can't get enough happier.
So we created our own podcast to keep the conversation going.
I'm Malika Amandi, a SoCal native living in Western Massachusetts. I'm a new mom and a career coach, and I'm here with my sister, Azizi Williams.
That's me. I live and work in the Los Angeles area. I'm a not-so-new mom, and I'm an education professional in the independent school world.
This week, we discuss our takeaways from the latest episode of Happier and Happier in Hollywood and revisit a Gretchenism about the month of September.
Malika will share something giving her a happiness boost, and I'll reveal a new source of inspiration.
Azizi, what happened on Happier this week?
Let's start with More Happier. So in More Happier, they discussed Liz's obliger rebellion and feelings about spoilers. On Happier, Liz and Gretchen discussed protecting your privacy on Venmo, very important hack. What's the least you thing you do? And they talked about giving a meaningful compliment. And this made me think of a time when I received a meaningful compliment. I thought actually the whole segment was very moving. It was moving to hear about compliments that other folks received and ones that they give. And I remember a time at work when I was really a difficult time. There were a lot of difficult decisions that had to be made. And it was late one night, and one of my coworkers came up to me and said, "You know what, Azizi, I think you're doing a great job." And it was so unexpected and nearly made me cry. And I will never forget how well timed it was and how thoughtful it was. What about you, Malika?
Well, I want to talk about your compliment first a little
Okay.
bit more.
Oh, okay. Let's
unpack
talk about it.
this. I think it's helpful context to know that you are the boss in this situation, right?
That is true.
So it's not just one coworker telling another coworker you're doing a good job. That means a lot to hear that someone who you're leading is telling you that you're doing a good job or sees the work you're doing. Because I think sometimes in those intense situations, everybody's looking to the boss or the leader, but you're not thinking about what are they going through or how hard is it for them to do the thing.
It's true. And you don't get a lot of feedback that's positive.
Yeah.
You don't always know how things are landing. There are many very incredibly difficult and complicated decisions that have to be made, and it's difficult to please everyone. And so I don't always know. And so, yes, that is an important part of why it was so meaningful to me. And also because I'm newish in this role. So that was validation that I needed at the right time. Okay, your turn now.
Okay.
What about you?
I love the segment also. It made me think about my husband. He and we exchange cards for holidays, birthdays, anniversaries, Valentine's Day. I feel like even though we're doing this multiple times a year, he always manages to write something really sincere. And he gives me compliments or tells me what he loves about me, but it's always very specific and of the moment. And it doesn't get old.
Wow.
It's really nice. It makes you feel seen. This person isn't just going through the motions. They really kind of see me on a day-to-day basis. And that's very special. I think that's at the heart of what a compliment is, right? Is somebody reflecting something that they notice in you, and it's nice to be noticed.
Even by someone who you see all the time, every day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, do you keep the cards? Do you ever revisit them?
Oh, I struggle with that because I don't like to keep things.
Okay, so it's in your heart. You read
clutter.
it and it's in your heart.
But I do keep them because it's hard to throw that away. But I don't have them in a collection, I need one of those memory keepers that Gretchen sells.
Yes. Gretchen has a box for that.
I need that box or the folder with the pockets.
Yes.
So, okay.
Yes.
This is
when you're down, you can read it.
A tangent. But what do you think about if we just had one book where we wrote all of our holiday messages instead of...
Wait, who's we?
My husband and I.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Like it was the book of sentimental messages where we could each write.
That is so sweet. I love that idea. That is a great idea. Then you don't have to buy a card.
Exactly.
You just add to the book. Oh,
right?
I'm loving this.
Okay.
I mean, I will say that the cards, it's a little bit of your personality that's coming through in the card, and the card selection says something. So I think that would be a takeaway. But the benefit of, if it's a really special book and you're both adding to it,
right?
I don't know.
You could make a collage. You could,
I don't
know
know.
when I just mean to if you wanted to embellish put something on a page that was like more than just the
Okay,
message.
okay, I see what you're like, really do up the page. Like,
Exactly.
make the page really special. Like, take up all the space with colors and stickers and things like that.
Exactly.
I
Okay,
like
this is
it.
encouraging. I'm gonna float this because
Yeah,
I was
that's
afraid that it
a
would
brilliant idea.
feel like I was being, I don't know, cheap or against the spirit of giving cards. But really, I
No,
want to
that's
like
a memento.
save it. It's like, okay,
Yes,
we're only 2 years, almost 3 years into this marriage. There's gonna be a lot
yes.
more, a lot more
There's gonna be
cards.
so many cards when you add it up. But I can see this. I want this book because
Okay,
I think this would be a good gift for like a newly married couple.
right.
You could say this is for you to put, all your sentimental messages to each other back and forth. I love it. Okay, Malika, what happened on Happier in Hollywood this week?
So this week, Liz and Sarah talked about turning a chore into a pleasure and setting a new goal. So I was very encouraged by this, or inspired. Liz has her goal. It started as the Fryman 50 of hiking Fryman Canyon 50 times this year. And then she bumped it up to Fryman 80 because she was doing so well with the 50. And then in a couple episodes, she shared kind of that it was languishing a little bit because of the heat. And now, because of the strike, the writer's strike that's still going on, and kind of all of
Right.
the stress around that, she's decided,
Mhm.
okay, I want to go big and go for the Fryman 100 so that she can have something that has nothing to do with her work life and this, that whole situation to focus on and feel really good about accomplishing something that's completely within her control. She said it's not going to be easy, but she thinks it's possible, and it's just kind of organizing her energy into something really good for her. So I love that. It's interesting because recently I was in a season of life of having a baby. I still have the baby. He's going to be one
He's beautiful,
soon.
beautiful baby. Hmm.
Indigo. And so I was at home with him for 10 months. I just went back to work a couple weeks ago. And there was a period of being at home with him that I was really struggling. And I felt it wasn't necessarily about him, but it had to do with postpartum and not knowing what my
Right.
next job is, and a lot of uncertainty, feeling disconnected from my body still from just all of the changes. And I had this idea of, oh, what if I did a triathlon again?
Did you do a
I
triathlon?
did. I know.
Oh,
That's the
I
most
don't
unlike
remember
me
that.
thing, probably, that I did a
You did a
triathlon.
whole triathlon?
Well, a triathlon
Wow.
it was a sprint triathlon. So it was quarter-mile swim, 10-mile bike, and then 3.5-mile run.
Wow. Maybe I do remember this. Did you get kicked in the face in the water or something?
I don't
No, I made
remember,
that up. I made that up. Okay, never mind. Go on.
but I did it.
Continue.
And then I also did a half marathon. Do you remember that?
Wow. No.
Okay, well, I did that. 13
Congratulations.
miles. I didn't particularly love those experiences, but
Yeah.
it felt so good to do them and to know that I
Mm,
like that sense of accomplishment, right? Like I wasn't
yeah.
fast or whatever, but I finished. And
Hmm.
so that idea came to me recently of like, oh, I could sign up for a race. I could do that, which,
Hmm.
I'm not somebody who runs. It's not in my normal day-to-day thing, but there is something alluring about accomplishing a very kind of what seems to be out of reach goal that it can just make you feel in charge again. I have not yet signed up for anything, but I was really inspired by Liz's commitment.
Well, that's very exciting. It makes it so much easier when you have a very concrete goal that you want to work towards. And like Liz, when it's completely within your control, you control
Yeah.
all the aspects of it if you're not waiting on someone else. So I encourage that. Yeah, good luck.
Thank you. Okay, Azizi, what are your thoughts?
So much giggling
I wrote that down too.
right away because that's the first few seconds is
Yes,
laughter, which I don't hate. I don't hate that. That is what we do.
it is. I totally forgot that we used to have a little blooper at the beginning of the episode.
Oh,
That was like a nod to what they do on Happier in Hollywood,
right.
but then we phased it out. We couldn't sustain it, but it was kind of funny.
It was funny. Do we still do a blooper at the end?
Yes.
Okay, nice. I also noticed that there was no banter. We just got to business right away.
Right. First, I didn't remember that music. I was
Mm,
like, "What's going on? Whose music is this?" Because we didn't get our music editor, Wyatt, until I don't know what episode.
hmm.
And I was doing the editing, and the music, it just sounds all funky to me. Like, I didn't quite know what I was doing.
It didn't sound that bad to me, the music, but I did notice a little bit of choppy editing
Yeah.
in there. A little bit. Just so subtle.
Yeah. The other thing that stood out to me, so we talked about cards. Do you save cards or not? And I mentioned Gretchen's memory pocket folder, which
Right.
I'm still talking about. I still don't have the product. I've
No,
been talking about this thing for years.
neither do I. We have other Gretchen products, but we
Yes,
just don't have that one yet. Still would be helpful.
which is funny. And that was the first idea about the card book, which we're doing now.
That was so fun to hear. It's odd because it feels like it was just yesterday and
Yeah.
also so long ago. But yes, you actually moved forward with this brilliant idea and shared about it not that long ago.
Yeah. It's a part of our family now.
Now, do you embellish and collage in it?
No collages, but sometimes I'll bring out the markers.
Okay. Get a little crafty.
Yeah.
And I was thinking it would be great if you guys had a book for Indigo.
I think he's got to have the same book.
Are you sure you want, like, maybe there's things in there? I don't know. It might be easier if it was just his. And then he could look at it when he wants to.
That's true.
Keep it separate.
I'm sold.
Okay, cool.
Anything else stand out to you?
Two things stand out to me. One, I make a lot of noise when you are talking. I
Mm,
notice. And this is just my manner of conversation. When I'm in a conversation, I'm with that person. I'm like, yeah, yes, right. I hear you. I don't know how that works for podcasting. And so it's something I will try to rein in a little bit and try to withhold all the noise that I tend to make when I'm in conversation with someone. So that's one thing. And the other thing is that I think you have so much postpartum wisdom
oh,
going into this next baby. I'm just so curious to see how you navigate it based on what you learned and what you know about yourself now.
yeah, it was interesting to hear that. I didn't realize we started right, like, when I went back to work.
2 weeks later, it's wild.
And so it is funny. Here I am now about to go into a whole thing again with a baby, and I feel very different than I did that first time around. And it'll be different too because I have a job that I know I'm going back to. So there is less unknown in that regard in terms of like, who am I? What am I doing?
Right.
It's more of like, okay, I'm taking a break to have a child, which I think that's going to feel good.
You have so much more experience in this place that you live, in the
Yeah.
home, navigating a baby. You have so much more experience. I can't wait to kind of see how you adapt or what you pull from the past or what new strategies you can use in this postpartum period.
Yeah. TBD. We'll talk about it on the podcast.
Absolutely.
All right. So let's dive into the rest of the episode.
Well, now we're going to move into a segment called From the Archives, where we go deep into the vault of the happier canon and reflect on an idea that's resonating now. And I wanted to resonate on the idea that Gretchen often talks about, that September is also January. Now, it's hard to believe that we're deep into September now. September is just a few weeks from being over. However, this really resonates with me as a professional who works in schools and who has worked in schools my entire year. There's never been a time when September has not also felt like January to me. And if you want to hear more about this from Gretchen, you can go to episode 444, where they discuss this more in depth. But when it's approaching September, I do all the things. I clean and organize my house and my spaces. I get school supplies. I don't need school supplies, but I always like to have something kind of shiny and new. I set goals and intention for my work. Sometimes I'll have a a 23 things I want to do at work list that I kind of
Ooh.
pull from. And, it just feels like it's such a special time of growth and optimism at my work and in my life. And of course, with my daughters, I get to support them and they're going to school also. They're still both students. And this year my work resolution is to slow down, kind of take it easy. I am in my third year in this new role and I hit the ground running really fast pace. And I have realized that that's not good for anyone, not myself or the people who I work with. And also it's not sustainable. So in order to think about the long game, you have to set your pace. And that is something that I'm really trying to do. And I realize that if I can do that within myself, it has an impact on people who work with me
Mm.
and for me. So that's my resolution. Do you do anything, Malika, in September, or
Well,
do you?
it's interesting because this is the first year in a long time that I am back in an academic context. I just started a new
Right.
position at a university. So I did get that wave of people bustling around and the like.
Feels good, right?
And because I was a new employee at the start of the school year, it felt exciting. So I have been getting office supplies and thinking about decorating the
Yes.
office. It's funny because I also like January as a new beginning.
Mm-hmm.
That feels just as real too. And so it's nice
Yeah.
to have these two
I
start.
also like January, but January feels very personal,
Okay.
right? Really
Yeah.
focus. I mean, and of course, because we are people who work, it's going to bleed over, but January is a different kind of new year.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
true, but I will take all the fresh starts I can get
Yes.
and all the opportunities to lead with optimism or go forward with optimism. I'll take them all.
So I have a question for you. When you
Okay.
kind of set your work goals for, in September, when do you do that? Do you do that outside of work or do you take an hour after lunch one day to think about how you want the year to feel? Just on the practical sense, when do you actually kind of do that deeper visioning?
I think I do it little by little. I will say that over the summer, I participated and I tend to participate in professional development and conferences. And often being away from the office and being immersed in thinking about some aspect of work
Mm.
gives me time to reflect on how's it going and what kind of leader do I need to be moving forward. So I think it's little by little kind of over the summer where I figure out, okay, now how am I going to be starting in September? How am I going to show up? Because once September comes around, it's
Yeah.
nonstop. There's no
Yeah.
time. The reflection it's a currency that's hard to come by once the school year begins. And so the more work I do setting myself up and setting my systems up and deep thinking over the summer, the better off I'll be. I'll have more to draw on as the school year progresses.
That's really good insight because I'm feeling that now. I started in September, but I'm trying to do that, setting up my systems and deeper visioning, and it's a real struggle.
It's like a current. It's a fast moving
Yeah.
current and it
Yeah.
just takes you long, but also you have to be in it a little bit to
Yeah.
know.
What
Like when you
exactly?
just started, there's so much new coming in and you can't really know your role in it exactly yet. So the
Yeah.
first year, it's kind of you're a baby. Not a fun feeling. That's something we could talk about later. I have a lot of thoughts about starting new. That's something, but
All right. I want to hear about
yes.
that future episode. We could break
Yes,
that
let's
down.
let's talk about that later.
We're back, Malika. What are your thoughts about that segment on September is the new January?
Well, first off, we haven't done a From the Archives segment in a long time.
No, I think we've just done two, maybe.
It was interesting. I was curious about your resolution to slow down. Did you slow down?
I think I did. I think I did a little bit. So I remember this. That was my word of the year. I bought a keychain of a sloth from Zootopia to
That's
remind
right.
me to slow down. And I think I definitely did a little bit, but I recognized, especially after we did the Clifton Strengths Assessment
Mhm.
together, the ideation part of me, the part of me that just rapid fire thinks of new ideas, it's just who I am.
Yeah.
I'm learning about how to manage myself so that it doesn't speed up everyone else, even though my mind kind of races or I want to go fast with everything. So I want to say yes, I did. The most important part was just recognizing that it's something that I need to be mindful of
Yeah.
always. And so I definitely gained that mindfulness. This was interesting because it is before we found best laid plans. and
Mm.
before the quintile planning. And now the quintile planning, the way that I choose to do it, quintile 4 starts in September. And so that is like naturally leaning into that urge to see that season as a distinct season from all of the other ones.
Mhm.
And yeah, I just love seasons. I love those markers of seasons changing. And because the weather does not change here, we need the other things to mark the passing of time.
Yeah, it strikes me that I was very much new to the kind of being in an academic world, and now I feel like, "Oh, yeah, I know that rhythm,"
Hmm.
and I really like it. The maternity leave is gonna throw everything off again, but I know what I'm coming back to, at least.
Right. And you know what's going to be happening in that season when you jump
Yeah.
back in.
Yeah.
You're finishing your second year.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
There was one thing I wanted to highlight. I thought it was a nugget. I said, reflection is a currency that's hard to come by. Isn't that so true?
Okay. It is. You don't respond to it the same way you are now, but it is true.
I always want time to stop and think and, to reflect back. It's just elusive. It's just hard to find the time
Yeah.
to do that kind of work. That is so important.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all.
All right, let's dive back in.
See you later.
All right. Now we're going to go into our happiness boost segment where we share something in our daily lives that's giving us a little boost of happiness.
What's your happiness boost this week, Malika?
My happiness boost is to pick a lucky number. Now, this is inspired by the book The Universe Has Your Back by Gabrielle Bernstein. And I love this idea of just picking a lucky number. It can have some significance to you for whatever reason, totally subjective, but you attach a meaning to seeing that number. For me, my lucky number is my birthday. So whenever I'm driving, if I see an address that has this combination of numbers, and it's actually really just the day of my birthday, and if I see the day, the month plus the day, then it's like very special.
Like, wow, fireworks.
Exactly. And for me, I've made
Wow.
it mean you're in the right place at the right time. And, Gretchen talks about this from time to time about the research around having like a lucky necklace or a talisman. There's actually evidence that when people have something that they think makes them lucky, they perform better on like a test, for instance. So it's kind of like the placebo effect. Like, does this number actually have magical powers? No. But if I think that it does and it's telling me something encouraging, then I get that benefit
And
from
that's
it.
good enough. It's
Absolutely.
interesting. I've never been drawn to numbers. So the idea of having a lucky number, even as I think about it, I'm like, no, I can't even attach to a number. But maybe I could, or maybe there's something else I could do that's similar, like maybe a word or, certainly colors. Purple is my favorite color,
Yeah.
and I buy everything in purple. I know Gretchen has talked about this as well, having a color that you
Yeah. I think
that you pick your go-to color.
I'm going to vouch for numbers here because
Okay. All right.
numbers are everywhere, and it's like driving, like license plates is often where I see this, and it's so passive. You don't have to be seeking it out. They just kind of go by you every day. Prices, they're just all around us. And I'll give
That's
you
true.
an example. So when I was in Los Angeles the last time, I went to one of my favorite places on the planet, which is We Spa, which you love as well. It's a
I
Korean day
do.
spa where you can go and relax and lie
So
on a heated
luxurious for
floor.
not a lot of money.
So when you check into We Spa, you pay for your entrance fee and they give you a little watch with a number on it, and that's your locker number. And there are probably
100?
300 lockers, and they gave me my locker and it had my lucky number on it. The very lucky number, like all three
Wow.
numbers. What are the odds,
Do you think you had a more special spa day because you got your lucky
Absolutely.
number? Okay.
Because as I was going to
Wow, I'm missing out on all the special
this
lucky
is
days
the
then.
thing, and I told the lady who handed it to me, she didn't really care, but I was like, this is my lucky number.
She didn't care.
But I like it so much, I might even ask for it sometimes, but I don't. But that was the locker that I got for that day. And for me, it means you're in the right place in the right time. All is as it's supposed to be. And that's just an encouraging message whenever I see that number.
What are some other ideas of numbers you could use besides your birthday?
like an anniversary. Mr. Rogers famously had a lucky number that was correlated to the place in the alphabet of the words I love you.
Oh, how sweet.
And so there was, even in the documentary, there was a thing where his weight was that number, and he was like
Mm.
very excited about it because the
Okay, if Mr. Rogers had a lucky number, I think I think I should have a lucky number too.
I
I'm
know.
gonna think about this. I'm gonna think about it.
Okay, good. You let me know.
Yeah.
Even when I see your birthday, I feel like that's lucky too. When I see it, your birthday.
Oh. I don't ever see it.
Well,
Or I don't remember seeing it.
once
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying numbers don't even
I know.
register. Like they don't even register in my brain, but I will dig deep and I will pick a
Okay.
lucky number. I'll report back to you. I'm convinced. Well, now we're going to move into peaks and valleys.
So, this is the segment where we take turns enjoying the views at the top of our week and acknowledging the low points too. So, this is an odd numbered episode. So, I will kick us off with a peak. And my peak is seeing my parents interact with my son, Indigo.
Hmm.
So, I call them mommy and daddy, but now I refer to them as granny and grandpa, which
Yes,
your
sorry.
children established.
They did. Yeah, forever.
And they're in town from LA visiting me in Western Massachusetts for a week. And the last time they saw Indigo, he was 7 months. But, he grows so much at this age. It is so different. And so it's just a delight to see them holding him and to see he can now like play games like peekaboo games and crawling across the floor to grandpa and climbing up his leg. And I can really
Yeah.
see that they are getting so much joy from being around him. And so that's a definite peak.
That's a great one. Yeah, his personality is coming out
Yeah.
now. I'm happy they get to spend time with you all.
What's your valley?
My valley is okay. So I'm not proud of this, and I'm naming it so that I can cut it out. I have one daughter at home. She's 16. She's lovely, and she has a social life, and she has things that she needs to go to or that she would like to go to, places to be, if you will. She doesn't have a license. She's working on that. It will happen soon. And in the meantime, she needs rides. She needs rides to places. She needs rides to places on the weekend, sometimes early, sometimes late. And I have a tendency when she asks me for a ride to go, oh, to kind of
Mm,
groan. Like, because I'm thinking about it's my self-care Sunday, or it's I want to just relax, or I have things that I want to do. I don't want to have to disrupt my day or think about how to fit in a drive to, Silver Lake, or some place that's maybe 30 minutes away, maybe 40 minutes away from where I live. But I realize when I caught myself groaning, this is a period of life that I should enjoy because it will not last forever. And it's not that I have to, but I get to take my daughter places. I get to drop her off and see where her friends live and connect with her on the rides there and find out about how things went when I drive her home.
mm.
It's not a phase that's going to last very much longer, and I should enjoy it and not groan. Also, that doesn't send a great message to her. I don't want her to think that I don't want to help her or
Yeah.
spend time with her, and so I'm trying to reframe that kind of activity and not see it as an imposition.
Well, I think that's a really powerful reframe. It reminds me of turning a chore into a pleasure, right?
Oh, yes. Turning it.
Because
Yes, that's great.
as you point out, that's an opportunity to spend time with your daughter. I will say though, I'm on your side a little bit because
No, don't.
I just want to say, and
Don't
maybe this
encourage
is
it.
something for Sinai to work on when it's possible. It's helpful to give you advance notice. Like you do have a life and a schedule too.
Oh, and she does. That's not the
Okay.
issue. It's not that it's last minute. It's
Okay.
ju it's usually a week out or something.
Okay.
So it's not last minute, but you know what it is my older daughter, who's now a sophomore in college and she's way out of state. When she's here, she gives all the rides. She loves driving. She's the driver. And then I don't I'm not having to do that chore. And she's now back at college and now it's on me again.
Okay.
And so that's why I think I caught myself. So she's very planful and definitely wants to work with my schedule. It's just the chore of it, as you said. I think that's exactly what it is.
So you're going to take pleasure in
We'll take pleasure
chauffeuring
in
your daughter.
it.
Nice.
Yes.
And that brings us to the end of our first episode. Azizi, let's leave on a happier thought. Azizi, what are you going to try this week?
Well, I'm gonna try to pick a lucky number. You convinced me. I need to find a number that's special for me. And Malika, what about you?
I'm going to follow through on picking a new goal inspired by Liz's Fryman 100. So I've got to come up with something that has a catchy name too. And I'll let you know.
Okay.
If you like us, rate, review, and tell a friend about Happier Ladies.
Send us a message at happierladies@gmail.com. And we look forward to seeing you next week. Yay.
What do we say now? We didn't come up with an outro.
We did an outro, is what we say.
All right, we're back. I love this segment, Pick a Lucky Number. I still love it. It's something that I think about literally every day. Seeing my lucky number, I feel it as strongly as I did a few years ago. And the thing that I have noticed is that other people don't really care, and that's fine. Like when I'm in my car by myself and I see it, I'll sometimes shout it out and be like, yeah, 29 or whatever. If I do that when someone else is in the car, it's weird. Even warm. Like
Yes.
I'll say, "Oh, there's my lucky number." And they're like, "Great." Like it's really personal information. So I think I've evolved in that way. Like I can have this little joy, this little pleasure. I don't need to talk about it in real time. Cause I think when other people say theirs to me, I don't care either. Like often that's what it evokes is I'll say it and then someone else will be like, "Oh, there's my lucky number." And I'm like, "Good for you." So this is private, personal information,
Okay.
but it still brings me quite a bit of joy.
That's some nuance on it now, some deeper thinking about this lucky number business. I feel the same way in that it has no impact on me. I've seen like the angel numbers once since the last time we talked about this. And I think I texted you, like, oh my gosh, I
Yeah.
couldn't believe I saw it. I took a picture. It was very exciting in that moment. It's just not something that I do. It's just not. But I was intrigued by Mr. Rogers' lucky number, and it's 143. And
Yeah.
I feel like I would love to do something with that. Maybe
Okay.
that's something I meditate on or write somewhere so that I can remember it because I do adore Mr. Rogers. So I think that's very sweet. And the fact that it's I love you, it's the number of letters in each of those
Yes.
words is
I
so
misspoke in the
beautiful.
episode about the numerical significance, but so you're going to look out for 143 or you're just going to write it?
I don't know. I'm going to put it somewhere and we'll see what
Okay.
happens. I just like knowing that 143. That could be a shorthand and other places. I don't know. I think that's very sweet.
All right.
Yeah.
See where that goes.
What about we spa?
Yeah, I still remember that day. That really did make me happy.
It sounds like it did. I believe you. You were really happy in retelling the story. And I love how the lady who gave you the code was like, okay.
Yeah, that was my first clue. Like nobody,
Same.
it's not lucky for her. What stood out to you in Peaks and Valleys is easy.
Well, I loved your peak, and it reminds me of something that happened yesterday. I was with Daddy, and he was talking about the excavation that's happening at their home in Altadena. And he was like, I took videos because Indigo would love to see the trucks. Oh my goodness, he'd be so excited. And I thought that's very sweet. He's always thinking about his grandson.
Yeah, it was nice. It kind of reminded me like we've had a lot of family visits over the past few years. And I think I can sometimes get in my head or my feelings about being so far away. And is Indigo getting to grow up around his grandparents? And obviously it's different. We're on different coasts, but I feel reminded, like, we have all kind of made the effort to be in each other's lives every year. And the things that I was saying, like, now they can see his personality. Like, that's what I'm saying every time they visit, right? Because he's always changing and
Yeah.
growing. But it was kind of a good check for me. Like, they are seeing him grow up.
I feel like we see you, Malika, slightly less than we would have seen you if you hadn't moved. The number of times that between you coming here and us going there, I
Yeah.
feel like we're maintaining a really good cadence of being in each other's lives. So I'm grateful for that also.
Yeah.
When I think about my valley and what it was, that I was trying to reframe having to give my daughter rides to her social functions, it makes me nostalgic because she's graduating. And of course, now she has a license and she has for a little while. So that's not been something that has been a task for me. I've enjoyed that. I mean, that's been great. Her driving and then having the car and getting to go places. She also loves it. That's wonderful and supports her independence. But she's graduating in a couple of days from high school. So it's just all of that. Every time I think about her growing up and this next phase I'm entering into, it makes me nostalgic. I'm glad that I documented that and talked about it and that I was able to turn it around while she
Yeah.
was still here. So I appreciate the Valley opportunity for that, to just say what you're grappling with and be optimistic about ways to improve it.
Yeah. I was wondering because I know she has her license now. Like, was there a big drop off in terms of her needing rides that happened a year ago?
Once she got her license,
Yeah.
yeah, she really could just go places. I will say there's one appointment that she has weekly, and it's in downtown LA. And that's a really tricky place to drive. It's really tricky to park. And so she's continued to need rides there once a week. And I do it when I can. And when I can't, our parents step in and they love to do it. So it's nice to give them that time with her. So yeah, there's a few things here and there that I still get to do. But on the whole, that phase of my life is over.
I can't believe it.
I
I'm
know.
starting to get sad now, Azizi.
Oh, Malika. It is sad. It's sad. It's happy. It's so many feelings. It's so many feelings.
I can't imagine being there. I have plenty of time, but I can't imagine what you're going through. We're going to do a quick break, and then we will come back with our peaks and valleys.
Hey, it's Paris. You know I love sparkly things, right? Like stars. Duh. And thanks to Hilton and AutoCamp, I just slept under them. Picture me, serving looks by the fire outside my luxurious Airstream, making s'mores with the kids, while a national park is our backdrop. The great outdoors meets Hilton hospitality. That's hot. Explore all the new ways to stay at Hilton.com. Hilton for the stay.
And we are back with peaks and valleys. Because in life, there are always peaks and always valleys. This is an even episode, so Azizi, share your peak with us.
Right. So, as I was discussing, a few days away from Sinai graduating from high school, and Magnus, by the way, they're in the same class together.
And Wyatt, our music
And
major.
Wyatt. So excited for all of them and this new adventure they're going to embark on. And yesterday was Sinai's final presentation. So at her high school, they have this process where each student has to make a presentation that sort of expresses their learning and something interesting that they wanted to focus on. They have to write an essay about it, and then they have to share it in front of their peers, a few teachers, and they get to invite parents to come as well. And so I came and mommy and daddy came, and a bunch of her friends were there in the front and a couple of her teachers. And basically she painted a painting. It was a pastiche project where she studied a few different artists and then she created her own piece based on what she learned from those artists' work and approach. And her art piece was inspired by mom and dad's house.
Hmm.
And so she chose to focus on family dinners and soul food and the dining room table. And so front and center in her painting is the dining room table. And then she brought in the colors of mommy and daddy's house and the artwork that was on the walls and the records that were
Wow.
there and the books. And it was this mixed media piece. It was acrylic with mixed media. And it was so beautiful. So she was there talking about her journey and her process and why she chose to create this art inspired by our parents' home. And we're all just bawling.
Oh,
We all lost it. It was so beautifully done, so thoughtful. And they really got to see how much they inspired her in her life growing up and how their love of culture and art is getting passed down to her. And then she gave it to them, this
oh,
piece of art that she created to have for their home. And it was so moving. It was so thoughtful. And the road to the end of the K-12 journey and having her go off to college is emotional for so many reasons and on so many levels. But I'm really proud of all of us. I'm proud of our whole family. Go team. Like, we all benefit from each other. Sinai has benefited from having all of these really meaningful family connections and all of the thoughtfulness that we put into our gatherings and our time together. It's all a part of her becoming the person who she is.
Mm.
And I'm just so proud of that. So we have a senior night tonight, and then in a couple of days we have the graduation. And then that will be the end of all of that. Then we'll take her to college in a few months, and that will be another emotional time. We had her graduation party, which was fantastic and was a beautiful time to celebrate and bring in our friends and family to celebrate. We could talk about that later, maybe some of the
Another
details.
episode.
Another episode, but it happened. All of this has happened in the last, week. So
Wow.
it's just been a big week. So that's my peak.
Oh, that's beautiful. I can't wait to see the piece.
Yeah, and what's nice is they recorded it. They record every presentation, so there will be a video at some point to
That's
share, and I
nice.
could share some photos with you too.
Wow. Well, I'm going to do a peek also,
Yeah,
just because 100 episodes, let's
all peaks.
go peak to peak.
Yes.
So this is a peek for a med tech that I met yesterday doing an ultrasound. And, there's a lot of ultrasounds throughout a pregnancy. And I've met many a med tech, and sometimes they're a little bit more curt or brusque, or they don't say exactly what they're doing. And, it's fine. I haven't had anybody that was rude, they're just
Right.
doing their job. But this tech, she just went above and beyond to be friendly. And
Wow.
it made such a difference. She was really chatty and conversational. She was talking about her kids, and it felt like we were old friends catching up, which is just such a different experience, especially when you're in a vulnerable position. So I felt very taken care of. I'm not usually the person who will initiate that type of conversation in a medical setting. I kind of am just there, the
Yeah.
patient, to follow instructions. But I really appreciate that she did, and that made me feel comfortable to engage. So,
That's really nice. Sometimes I like chatty, sometimes I don't.
yeah.
But when you're in a vulnerable situation, it's nice to have some friendliness.
Yeah. I think it's better than the alternative because I've been in ultrasound situations where they're not chatty and it can feel weird to ask, like, so what are we looking at? Or what does that mean? Or they might make a sound or a note and not give you any
Oh,
context.
right.
And so it's always nice when they're like, oh, things look good. That
Yeah, I can imagine that would be a huge relief. That's true. You're right. That's more than chatty. That's just like being helpful and
helpful.
informative.
Yeah. So Azizi, final thoughts about re-listening to our first episode.
It wasn't bad. I thought it was actually it was good listening. We are interesting people and we have some fun things to say. It put me in a good mood listening to it to the end. What are your thoughts, Malika?
Well, that's great. Yeah, it was fun. I think we have come a long way. I feel like I can see the places where things feel a little more finessed or just natural in terms of our back and forth, but it's pretty solid from the beginning and interesting to reflect on how much has changed and how much hasn't changed in 100 episodes.
Yeah, I think that's the point also is that like what's behind it, our love for happier in Hollywood and our thoughtfulness about just how we live our daily lives, all of that is still there. That has
Yeah.
not changed.
All right. Well, thank you for coming along with us on the journey, listeners.
And thank you for being listeners, right? Thank
Yeah.
you for being here for our 100th. Let us know if you've been here since the beginning.
Yes.
I would love to know. Has anyone been here since the beginning? Or if you've listened to all 100 episodes, we would love to know.
We just recently passed 100 reviews.
We
So
did?
we did.
Yay! That's exciting.
So let's
Thank
get
you.
to 200.
Okay, next goal. Next goal.
Thank you for listening to this episode. You can find our show notes in the episode description. If you like us, please rate, review, and tell a friend. And don't forget to follow us.
Send us a message at happierladies@gmail.com.
Our show was edited by Magnus Bjorgum, and our theme music was created by Wyatt Muncie.
You can find us on Instagram at happierladies and on the web at happierladies.com. All right, Malika, have a happier week.
Have a happier week, Azizi. Bye.
Bye. We will time travel back to the very first episode, and you'll hear from us a little bit later. Well, no, that's not right, because they will hear from us in the episode.
This podcast is part of the Sound Advice FM network. Sound Advice FM, women's voices amplified.